Hi guys, it's Nina from VR Focus, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about Blood and Truth. So there were a series of games announced at Paris Games Week, and Blood and Truth stood out because it is made by London Studio. So this is PlayStation's own in-house studio that create virtual reality games. And they recently created VR Worlds. And if you remember correctly, there were several different experiences, little tidbits of virtual reality in that. But there was one particular experience that people really enjoyed, which was the London Heist experience. They took that little bit because it was extremely popular and they decided to create a whole game out of it. So from VR Worlds, London Heist, you've got Blood and Truth. And of course, that means it will be launching exclusively to the PlayStation VR in 2018. The story is that you play an elite special forces soldier, Ryan Marks, and you have to protect and save your family from this crazy criminal overlord. And it is set in modern day London, so you've got the casinos, you've got the sort of seedy underbelly of London, and you're dealing with a lot of criminals. They sound like proper gangsters, so it plays a lot of homage to sort of like all of the gangster films that have been coming out of London quite recently. For VR Worlds, London Studio created their own virtual reality game engine, and it is exactly the same game engine for this game. They've learned lots of tidbits from VR Worlds and they basically enhanced it for the PlayStation VR console, specifically for Blood and Truth. So you can tell that there's sort of like a progression of what PlayStation is doing with regards to virtual reality. If you played Arctica 1 on the Oculus Rift, you will recognize the node mechanic for movement, meaning that there are pre-designated areas that you can move to, that you have to click on in order to move to that location. There is no free movement. You can't walk around and choose where you want to be. These are pre-designated areas that you can move to. You use the move controllers, so what's quite interesting is that you kind of push the middle button on the move controller, and that is where you can kind of take your gun out of your chest and you pick up ammo on the side of your hip and you just slot it right into your gun, depending on which gun you have. I had a little pistol. And you also use it, so there's obviously different sort of markers that you can go to, and depending on which one you look at, and it will change color and you can choose to move to that. Now this is designed to help people with motion sickness or simulation sickness, and what is kind of useful for that is that as you move to a place and you find cover, is that whilst you're moving, you're not really thinking about the act of moving, you can still continue to shoot enemies as you do this. So I tried the tutorial at Develop VR, and what was very interesting about it is that there's a chase sequence where you're chasing this one guy after you put some explosives in a casino, and you track this guy down in a hotel, and he's basically the accountant. You go up to him and you're like, tell me where your boss is, and you start interrogating him. So it's kind of the good cop, bad cop scenario where you have to decide to be easy on him or you have to be very bad on him. Because it is virtual reality and there is a cover system and they're pre-designated, you're going through sort of a hallway in a hotel room. You have to choose different doorways and try to find cover for the different doorways and shoot your enemies as you go from cover to cover to cover. And what I really liked about it is that when you shoot the fire extinguishers, is that everything goes in slow motion and you are still moving and you can continue shooting your enemies, and I didn't feel motion sick at all whilst I was playing the game. And you see there's little bits of attention to detail that really enhance the game. Like the guy was just shoving lots of things towards you to prevent you from chasing him, and near the end you just end up running towards this window and you kind of fall down in slow motion. I spoke to Stuart White from London Studio, and he said that he couldn't mention too much else about the game, but there is a large chunk of gameplay, so it's not going to be just like 2 to 3 hours of gameplay. It is a big game. The move controllers felt very comfortable. This feels like it really has used your move controllers properly. You've got all of these different options that you can choose from. I did find it a little bit tricky and annoying that when I wanted to pick up an item, I ended up moving to another pre-designated area by accident, and I was like, that was completely not my intention. So for example, in the casino, I ended up accidentally being seen because I clicked the wrong button. Now, obviously, I think as you continue to play the game and you understand the move controllers properly, because I don't own a PlayStation VR and I don't own any move controllers, and you understand the buttons a lot better, it might be easier, but it was a little bit tricky, you know, deciding how I could play the game, because you could play it in stealth mode or you can kind of just go guns and blazing, and I did something by accident, which was go guns and blazing when I actually wanted to be stealthy. Thank you so much for watching. These are my thoughts on the video game. I enjoyed it. I wanted to play more of it. I really like the interaction that you have with the characters, and I loved the chase sequence and the slow motion and the fact that I didn't feel motion sickness at all when I played it. It's coming out exclusively to the PlayStation VR in 2018, when we don't know, but stay tuned to VR Focus to find out more. Add some comments to the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts about the game. Did you enjoy London Heist? Are you happy that there's a completely new game revolving that? Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you soon.